What's happening, YouTube? It's your light skinned pecan man, Tuskegee 87, aka Joe Daddy, back in here one more time with you for a little bit of Christian rehab. And as you gather by the title today, I have one awesome tip that will make your Easter off the chain. But before I give you that tip, I'm going to give you a little bit of background information on Easter and where it came from, and then I will provide you with this awesome, amazing tip. So, we're going to jump right into it, not going to belabor the point. So, where did Easter come from? Where did the name come from? Well, Easter in and of itself originated from, it was a pagan festival, if you will, celebrating the Anglo-Saxon goddess of fertility, whose name was Eostre, as you can see here at the bottom. Now, Eostre originally was also named as Teutonic, and in the Greek it translated into Eostre, which is also Easter, which is the Greek word for spring. So this celebration for Easter was pretty much a celebration for the time of the year of spring. However, it also paid homage, if you will, reverence to the pagan goddess of fertility. So that's where the name of Easter came from, and kind of where the tradition started as a celebration. In Northern Europe, Eostre was known as the Great Mother Goddess, if you will. So with that being said, there are a couple of aspects to what we see in America as the celebration of Easter. You know, we have the eggs going about, and we have this bunny that just kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, well, what does this bunny have to do with anything, and why is he carrying eggs? Like, from what I recall, you know, bunnies don't lay eggs. So we're going to tackle this thing about the bunny. What does the bunny have to do with Easter, or do with the goddess of fertility? Well, as legend has it, the Greek goddess Eostre, or not the Greek, but the pagan goddess Eostre, apparently consorted with this rabbit and bore forth children, or had, you know, offspring, or whatever the case may be. Now, there is no real evidence, there is no real documentation to you know, confirm that. However, that's just what one of the legends says. But it most likely came from the Germans, and they actually brought some of this tradition over to America around the 17th century. But rabbits in ancient times, if you will, or the rabbit itself, is an ancient symbol of fertility. The eggs themselves represent new life. So rabbits in and of themselves kind of symbolize the coming of springtime. You see an abundance of rabbits come out throughout the land. They're known as the great procreator, if you will, or the enthusiastic procreator. Now, in Germany, the Easter bunny, as we know it, is known as Osterhaus, which is German for Easter bunny, with Oster being Easter and Haus being hare or bunny, if you will. Now, something to note that I thought was interesting is how the German word for Easter kind of sounds like, and actually looks like, the pagan goddess name of Eostre, whose name is translated to springtime. So I just thought that was something, you know, interesting, that these two names, Eostre and rabbit, are joined together to make Easter bunny, if you will. Or, you know, it was just something that I was thinking about. But as we go down into it a little bit deeper, we find out a little bit more, especially when we talk about these eggs. Now, again, I mentioned before, rabbits aren't really known for laying eggs, so why do we care about these eggs? Well, again, an egg symbolizes new life, obviously. But the idea came from the Roman belief that all life came from eggs, which they're not really wrong in that respect, because human life comes from a fertile egg of a female or of a woman. And again, the same thing, some animals, or feathered animals and reptilian animals, also lay eggs as well. So you know, they're kind of right in that respect, that all life begins from, or all life in the natural begins from, you know, an egg of sorts. So that's kind of where that started about. Now, this tradition of the rabbits, and again, the eggs were brought to America in the 18th century by German immigrants who came over this way. Their tradition, and thinking about the rabbit and the egg thing, kind of tying these two back together, is that the rabbit kind of represented the moon, and an egg represented the sun. And during the springtime, or during the spring equinox, the summer, or excuse me, the daytime and the nighttime are the same exact length. And at some point during the spring equinox, the sun and the moon join themselves together. So again, with the moon representing the rabbit and the sun representing the egg, you can kind of see where that tradition of a bunny and an egg, and this rabbit carrying this basket of eggs representing new life, because this rabbit is supposed to represent the springtime and enthusiastic procreation, if you will. You can kind of see how they go hand in hand all together. Now, what's interesting is that not all countries wait for the Easter bunny or Easter hare. Some countries wait for the Easter fox, the Easter chick, the Easter storch, the Easter whatever. There's like different animals that different countries wait for. So the bunny is more specific toward Germans and America as it stands now. You know, we talk about this Easter bunny thing, and we talk about the celebration and what it's about, and we realize and we come to know that the root of the Easter celebration is really to celebrate the pagan goddess of fertility, which is Eostre, which is what this celebration is named after. So, as a Christian, what does all this have to do with the resurrection of Jesus? I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you something. I got a secret. Don't tell anybody, but it has absolutely nothing to do with it. That's right, I said it. Easter has absolutely nothing to do with the resurrection of Jesus Christ. I mean, has absolutely no bearing. They're two completely separate things. And so I'm explaining to you this why. So first of all, Lord Jesus, the Son of the living God, the captain of the Lord's army, and the angel of the Lord, and an innocent man, came down to earth, born in the likeness of sinful flesh. He grew up, came out as a baby, grew up as a adolescent, as a youth, as a teenager, and then finally into a grown man. So that what? He could spend all these 33 years of life just to die for us at the very end. But that's not it. That's not where it ends. Because here's the great part. 3 days later, he rose again. Now, that is what this coming Sunday is all about on this year 2018, April 1st, also known as April Fool's Day to some people. Only a fool will believe that there is no God. It's in the Bible. Go check it out if you don't believe me. But anyway, that's what this coming time of season is about. It's not about celebrating some pagan god of fertility, because pagans have gods for everything. They got a god for the sun. They got a god for your wallet. They got a god for your car. They got a god for everything. They got a god for the grass growing in the ground. They got a god for your left eye. They got a god for whatever you can think of. They got gods for everything. But see, the thing I like about the God that I serve is he's only one God. There is no other God before him. He is everything that I need. He is the I am that I am. You know what that means? That means he is whatever I need him to be in my time of need. Not to be my scapegoat, if you will. Which, I mean, Jesus essentially was my scapegoat when he got up on the cross, died for my sins, and he got bludgeoned to death. He got his skin ripped off, his muscles ripped off, all of this stuff ripped off, just everything just torn off of him and everything. Then he got hung up on some piece of wood, just stressed out like this with no clothes on. He ain't had nothing on, just bearing everything. I'm pretty sure it was hot out there. He was sweating and everything. He was dehydrated. They tried to give him alcohol and he wasn't having that because he was already dehydrated. Man, you know, just a whole gamut. But anyway, I'm getting off the point here. The subject of the matter is Easter has absolutely nothing to do with Resurrection Sunday. So if you call yourself a Christian, yet you celebrate Easter, you got to always determine what is the root of this thing that I'm celebrating. So again, we just found out that the root of Easter is to celebrate the pagan goddess Eostre, which completely goes against everything that's Christian. So again, that kind of goes against one major thing, that you should love your God with all your heart, with all your mind, and with all your soul. That also goes against not having any other God before me. So why, as a Christian, would you celebrate another God when you should be celebrating the God of Israel, the God, the one and only God who gave you redemption, who gave you new life, who died on the cross for your sins, for my sins, for everybody's sins around you, to give you new life so that when you die and leave this physical world, that you won't go into a burning fire of hell and brimstone and get your skin burned off and then have it regenerated again, and then you get incinerated and then you come back again repeatedly over and over in a perpetual cycle for the rest of your life. As a Christian, me personally, this is just what I think. Now understanding this better, you really shouldn't celebrate Easter. You should celebrate Resurrection Sunday. That's what Christians should celebrate. That's what you should call it, Resurrection Sunday. Somebody else at your job says, oh yeah, what you gonna do for Easter? You tell them, this is what I'm gonna do for Resurrection Sunday. I'm gonna wake up early in the morning and celebrate the arise of Jesus Christ, because he's just that awesome. And about how he now holds all power and authority in the earth and in heaven. So for those of you all who think that the devil is still the prince of this world, the king of this world, whatever the case may be, Matthew 28:18 says, behold, I now have authority and a power in all heaven and on earth. So that means the devil doesn't have any more power within this realm. Now, people will want you to think that the devil has power. He does have power, but he doesn't have power over this realm. This is God's earth. This is God's earth. The word says that the earth is his and everything that dwells in it. So kind of goes against that notion that, well, the devil is the prince of this world, because he's really not. He's not the prince of anything except lying. But anyway, that's that. So why celebrate Easter? Again, we shouldn't celebrate Easter. It's a pagan tradition. Anything that's root comes from celebrating another god, we should pretty much breaks the very most important commandment, if you will, which is love your God. And I kind of talked about that before. So now that you know to do good, for you not to do it is counted unto you as sin. So now that you know the information, especially if you're a Christian individual, now you have to make the decision of whether or not shall I serve this pagan goddess again repeatedly and subject my kids to serving this same pagan god, or will I change, and now that I know better and do better so that I don't fall into sin, and that I can make God happy, because then, glorify him, because that's what we're here for. Will you do that? That's the decision that you have to make. But again, I leave that with you. Always remember, straighten up and fly right. The Lord is watching you, not Santa Claus. But anyway, that's it. It's your boy only Tuskegee 87, aka Joe Daddy, reminding you all to straighten up and fly right. Ha ha!